You are certainly the first inmate I have sent to isolation, but I can see no other alternative. I suggest you use the opportunity to do some very serious thinking about your past behavior and attitudes.
But how long am I going to be there?
Indefinitely.
All our friends, and the only people to speak up for us are two criminals.
We've only ourselves to blame for that.
There's no way I'm going to call on their evidence. Nothing's going to make me.
I don't like the idea any more than you do, Mum, but it might be our only chance.
I'd rather ask Michael to testify.
No, Mum.
But he knew about the accident, how it changed Brian. The court would accept his testimony.
I don't want Michael back in my life in any capacity.
She's got no right to opt out. We're lovers. Some lover when she leaves me at the mercy of the scumbags in here. Oh, you couldn't tell, Mrs. Jackson. It's shocking, isn't it?
Not particularly.
Oh, no, I should have realised. I suppose you're used to lesbians working in here. Wouldn't be surprised if you're a dyke yourself.
When can I take her home?
Home?
Well, you know, Winkworth.
Oh, yes. Well, she's going to need medical attention. Something far more specialised than Wentworth can give her.
Yeah, but I've got to look after her, don't I? I mean, I'm the only mum she's got.
Yes, but you don't understand, my dear. She has a severe respiratory problem. She won't be able to leave until that's cleared up. And you won't be able to look after her until you've left Wentworth.
Mr. Reed wants to see you, Bea. And your craft work.
Well, what's he want to see that for?
He didn't say.
Probably wants to make sure I'm being a good girl.
Now, don't knock it. It's pretty unusual for a prisoner to be taken out of isolation to discuss their craft work.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty lucky he's trying to help. How are you getting on here?
Oh, great. Not exactly what I was used to at the Menzies Hotel, though.
Come in.
Bea Smith to see you.
Oh, thanks, Meg. Come in, Bea. Sit down.
I'm due in reception. I'll get Vera to take her back.
So, my, we have been busy. May I have a look?
It's not exactly hard work.
Yeah, but you are enjoying it, though, aren't you? All right, Bea, you've been put in isolation, but you must admit that you gave the governor good reason.
Well, what do you expect? Sharon was coming the heavy, and no one comes the heavy with me.
Yes.
All right, it was stupid. Bloody stupid. Look, if I'd known Chrissy was going to get hurt, I wouldn't have... I don't want anything to happen to that baby. All right, it was all so stupid because the governor can put me in isolation as long as she likes, and meanwhile Sharon Gilmore's got the run of the prison. Right?
Right.
Right, yeah, right. I should have my bloody head examined. Sharon's just a smart-ass kid. She didn't need me to fix her up. I should have just stood by and waited and she would have done it all on her own. If I behave myself, do you think Mrs. Davidson might change her mind?
Mrs. Davidson said that she's given up on you. Mind you, the way that you've taken to this project should go in your favour.
It's not going to do you any harm either, is it? Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to look really good with the department. If this does well, the craft thing, and the radio station catches on, going to be a couple of feathers in your cap.
All right, Bea, I won't make any promises, but I'll see what I can do. Provided that you set an example.
Well, I'll need some more materials.
Fine. Come in.
I've come to take Smith back.
She's nearly ready. There you are. That should keep you going.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, that's all, I think. I'll get Vera to send me back to my suite.
Mm. Thank you, Miss Bennett.
What was all that about?
Just a little project you had in mind. Wanted to ask my advice.
Oh, is that so? What is it this time?
Well, he's thinking of selling a call girl service. Wanted to know if he should put you in charge.
I suppose you think you're very funny, Smith.
I said you'd frighten the customers.
Here's a little something you don't know, Smith. Latham had her baby. Two months premature. Touch and go, I believe.
You don't say.
Brought you down a peg or two, didn't it? Latham's fine. She'll be back here soon enough. But she won't have the baby with her.
Why not? Well, why not?
Unfortunately, being premature, the baby's lungs aren't properly developed. Thanks to you, Smith, it may die. It'll certainly be in hospital for some time. And Latham won't have it in Wentworth at all.
Are you taking me back or not?
What's the hurry, Smith?
We better go, Vera. Because if we don't, and I tell the governor why...
Yes, well, Chrissy will be pretty upset, won't she?
I'm afraid there's no alternative. Surely she doesn't want the baby to die.
What? Oh, no, of course not.
You don't sound very convinced.
It's just that she's changed so much. I mean, she's been living for that baby
Yes,
and now...
I'm well aware of that. All we can do is help her to adjust to prison life again, as gently as possible.
Well, what about B's two heavies in solitary?
Oh, yes, you better let them out.
You're reporting them to the VJ?
What's the point? Smith was the force behind it all, and she's already been punished. The other two are quite harmless without her.
I'll get them back to work then.
Size, I really don't care what sort of food they serve us, as long as it's not cauliflower. I was eating cauliflower when the police arrested me. Ever since then, I can't stand it. I only have to smell cauliflower and I throw up. Ha! Here's your tucker.
Yeah, well, not before time.
Gee, must be driving you mad over here, eh?
I'm enjoying the peace and quiet.
Ah.
Put that on the table.
Oh, yeah. Hey, craft work. It's good, isn't it? Everyone's doing it.
Well, you can just tell everyone to down tools. No more craft work until I give the word.
Oh, but Bee, they're really enjoying it.
You heard what I said. And tell the girls I'm thinking of them and to behave themselves.
Yeah, sure, Bee. I'll do that. See you later.
Oh, and hey, don't go eating any cauliflower. Could make you real sick.
Mrs. Davidson.
Good morning.
Good morning. I've got some news for you. I think it's important.
Oh?
Yes, it's about Simpson and Williams. Apparently, the night before Williams' husband was killed, they turned up at the halfway house and asked to be taken in for the night. There were signs that Williams had been assaulted.
Where did you get this information?
Well, Lizzie came to see B. Smith yesterday. She mentioned it to Smith, and Smith thought we should know.
Well, Lizzie's hardly the sort of witness they need.
No, it's not just Lizzie.
Thank you, Chris.
Good morning. Doreen Anderson saw them, too. And so did the woman that runs the place. What's her name?
Rhonda West. Well, 3 witnesses could carry some weight. On the other hand, Williams and Simpson could be just trying to substantiate their story.
Oh, that's hardly likely, is it? I mean, they wouldn't go to all that trouble with the halfway house and then not tell their neighbours.
Oh, that's true.
Well, will I tell the police?
Not yet. The women at the halfway house could be still embittered towards the police. If the detectives arrive and start asking them questions, they could get frightened. They may even deny what has happened. I think it would be better if Paul Reed called around there first, explained the situation, put them at their ease.
Right, I'll tell Paul right away.
You seem very keen to get things moving.
Those women haven't got the faintest idea about how to protect themselves. Williams isn't even eating. Somebody's got to do something.
I suppose somebody does.
What you need is a good country breakfast. Plenty of grub.
Oh, shut up, will you, Lizzie? Oh, there's bugger all and the situation's vacant.
I've said I'm sorry, Dawn.
Well, a fat lot of good that is. You go and lose me my job because you booze, so you can leave me alone.
Oh, I'm just a poor old bugger that nobody cares about.
You know something, Lizzie? You're not wrong, because you always mess things up, that's why.
The only phone I could find was in a pub and that woman was yakking away for hours. I couldn't help that, could I?
Well, all you had to do was stay off the grog until you'd made the phone call.
Oh, Dawn, what about your brekkie?
You cooked it, you eat it.
I'm not hungry.
Well, I'm not hungry either, and I've got to get going, because there's only 4 jobs, and if I leave it any longer, they'll be gone.
No, Mrs. Robinson, I can assure you there'll be a constant supply of goods. No, there'll be no opposition. Well, not direct opposition, anyway. The nearest one would be 6 suburbs away. Come in. Yep. Fine. Then you'll have your first delivery tonight. No, I'll deliver this one personally. Bye-bye. Morning, Jim. I had no idea that merchandising could be so complicated.
Well, getting supplies in?
No, getting the finished product out. I haven't got time to think. I've organised a couple of outlets for the smaller stuff, the moccasins, soft toys, that sort of thing. Later on, when the women are a bit more expert, I'm hoping to merchandise through Argyle stores in Sydney.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, what can I do for you?
Are you going out?
Yes, I'm afraid I have to.
Well, look, this matter of mine, it's fairly urgent.
Uh-huh.
Well, it concerns Simpson and Williams. Apparently, Lizzie Birdsworth called in yesterday and happened to mention that Simpson and Williams called into the halfway house the night before the killing, complained about being assaulted.
Was Lizzie the only one who saw them?
No, Rhonda
West.
Rhonda West and Doreen Anderson saw them as well. Mrs. Davidson thought that you might, pop around there, explain the situation to them, so they won't get frightened off by the police.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Leave it with me.
Yeah, well, when do you think you might do it?
Well, I'm pretty busy right now. I've got no real idea, but I'll get around to it, I promise you.
I know, that's what she said. No more craft work till she gives the word.
Be buggered. It's fun.
Oh, it's up to you, Margot. Don't forget, Bee's not going to be in isolation forever.
Jeez, I was getting real good at it, too.
Yeah? What is it?
What's going on here?
They're making fun of me doll, Mrs. Jackson.
Now, don't let them upset you, Margot. I mean, it's a lovely little thing. Well, come on, I'm sure Mr. Reed wouldn't want you to be doing that in here. You've got your recreation time for that. Oh, Bernadette, now you're supposed to be in the kitchen. Get a move on. Nobody will get anything to eat.
Well, that's all arranged. I've spoken to your barrister. He's agreed to represent you and your friends. Oh, except for Sharon Gilmore. She's apparently made her own arrangements. He wants to see you in his office at 3 o'clock this afternoon so that you can talk about the case tomorrow. Anything wrong?
You've really got it all organised, haven't you?
Well, somebody had to do it. You got any objections?
No.
All right, now, when you see him, I want you to tell him everything. No holding back, no half-truths. When he gets into court, he's got to know the lot, okay?
Sure, Dad.
Now, we both think that if you throw yourself on the mercy of the court, you've got a fair chance of getting off on a bond. You're young enough, and it is your first offence. Any questions?
No.
All right, well, there's a couple of questions I want to ask you before I go back to work, just in case they throw them at you in court tomorrow, okay?
Anything you say.
Lunch, Bee? It's a braise.
Did you cook it?
I helped. No cauliflower, but.
Did you give the girls Milo?
Yeah, of course I did.
Well, how's it going, Mrs. Jackson? You all lot missing me?
Well, things are certainly quiet.
No, that's not good. Because when things get quiet, people get bored, and that's when things start to happen.
No, they won't get bored. Mr. Reed's project will keep them very busy.
Only me, girls.
Hello, love. Finished for the day, have you?
Had it for the day, more likely. Honestly, I am so tired. Now they've given me 3 floors to clean.
Oh, God, that's a bit rough. Why don't you tell him to shove it?
Don't tempt me, Lizzie. Trouble is, jobs are too darned hard to come by. Oh, I tried to have a word with the boss about getting Dor in, but he's a cagey old boy. And what are they doing there? Oh, Lizzie, have you been at it again?
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? 2 empty glasses on the table, and Lizzie's been on the booze again. Don't suppose it to be possible that I could have dried the dishes or something.
Well, you forgot to dry that.
God, you're getting worse than Vera Bennett. Oh, no, Rhonda, I know what you said before, but this is something special for me to celebrate with me old mate Dor.
You know the rules. If you want to celebrate, do it outside. Now I'm going to bed. I've got to work again later.
I see. You are quite sure it's not too soon? Well, certainly. Thank you for calling, Doctor. Come in.
Oh, you wanted to see me?
Yes, Meg. I've just been talking to Dr. Herbert about Chrissy Latham.
Oh, how is she?
Oh, fine, it would seem. Well, physically, anyway. Apparently, she's still a little withdrawn.
Well, that's understandable. When will she be back?
Within the next couple of days. I'm a little bit worried about her, actually. How's B. Smith settling into isolation?
Oh, pretending she couldn't care less, but I think it's getting at her. She suggested we'd have all sorts of problems without her running things.
That's B. Smith. Did she say what sort of problems?
Not really. Maybe it's just a brave front.
Yes, maybe.
As if we haven't got enough to do without searching this rubbish for messages.
Sally, if you can have those typed up for me by morning, I'd be most grateful. Miss Bennett, I hardly think the women will be smuggling messages out in moccasins.
They smuggle things out in almost everything else, Mr. Reed. I don't see why they should respect your little project.
No, it's not my little project, it's their little project, and they're very enthusiastic about it. So why would they do anything to foul it up?
They don't need a reason. You've made the mistake of treating them like people. They're not people. They're criminals, and that's the way you should treat them. If you don't, they'll make a fool out of you in a minute. Now, is any more of this rubbish to go?
Yes, in the rec room. If you like, I'll check it for you.
No, thank you. I know my job. All right. Where are they?
Where's what, Miss Bennett?
The things you've made for the craft project.
Oh, those.
Yes. Now, come on. I haven't got all day.
Yeah, I packed them up, Miss Bennett. They're over there. None of them are finished.
Why? What's going on?
Oh, everybody just seems to have lost interest.
Is that a fact? Got too hard for you, did it?
No, I want...
What was that?
Nothing, Miss Bennett.
Just what I'd expect from you lot. Mr. Reed seems to have high hopes for this project. This should show him what you're really like. Hope I'm not interrupting.
Yes, Miss Bennett.
I thought you should know. The women have abandoned your project.
Nonsense.
If you don't believe me, here's the evidence. All unfinished. So much for completing your order today.
Have all the women down tools?
All of them. As I said, when you've been dealing with them as long as I have, you'll know that they can't concentrate on a thing for any length of time.
No, there's more to it than that.
What do you mean?
Somebody is playing games.
Oh, g'day, Dora. You must be real tired.
Well, what do you reckon? And it's bloody typical. I'm the one running all over town and you're the one here into the grog.
I bought that for us. Come on, Dora, sit down, have a drink and relax.
4 places I went to. 4 places. And at every one of them there was a queue a mile long for one job.
Dora, have a drink. You'll feel better.
This stuff is not allowed in here, Lizzie.
Oh, God, here we go again. Oh, come on, Dora, you can't do that. I bought that for us to celebrate.
Celebrate what?
Hang on a minute and I'll tell you. This morning I went to see Angela Jeffries about me compo. You know, about me being put in jail when I shouldn't ought to have been. And she reckons I'll get thousands.
Yeah, well, what's that got to do with me?
Well, I'm going to give you half on account of that I made you lose your job.
Oh, Lizzie, that's silly.
No, it's not silly. You're my mate and I did the wrong thing by you.
Lizzie, you can't.
I can do anything I like. It's my money. Oh, come on, Dora, let's have a drink. I've been feeling rotten all morning.
Oh, Lizzie. Oh, geez, I'm sorry for blowing up at you like that this morning.
You didn't mean it.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. You just done your block. Come on, let's have a drink to all this money.
Yeah, well, Lizzie, I can't take your money.
Of course you can. Why not?
Because I don't need it. I've got my own money from my mum's will. That'll come through soon.
Well, what's all this about getting a job?
Well, it's just something to do, something to keep me busy. There's no big hurry.
Something to do? Stone the crows. I need a drink. With a bit of luck, we'll finish this before Rhonda wakes up. Here. Let's drink to the ladies of leisure.
I'll go along with that.
Thank you. All right, B, what's going on?
Now, how should I know?
The project, the Women of Down Tools. Why?
Well, they've probably got sick of it. Happens all the time. Ask Vera.
B, we had an arrangement.
You said that if I backed up this project of yours, you'd see what you could do about getting me out of here. Well, how can I back up anything in here? I don't get to see anyone.
B, do you realize what you're doing? You're playing right into their hands. Now, I thought that we were going to do this together.
Well, I'm doing everything I can to help. Look at all I've done. But those women need a slave driver, someone on their back the whole time.
Oh, yes, and I suppose you're the only person for the job, right?
Nice of you to say so.
I'll keep trying.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Anything you can do, I'll be grateful for.
Mrs. Davidson.
Good morning. You are in early.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about this handcraft business. The Women of Down Tools, and I think B. Smith's behind it.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Davidson, as I see it, there are one of two attitudes we can adopt with Smith. We can either assume that she'll never change, in which event she'll spend the rest of her time here in isolation, or we can give rehabilitation one more try. I honestly believe it could work.
There is a third course.
Uh-huh.
We can wait until Smith indicates she is interested in rehabilitation. Do you honestly think that if she pressures her way out of isolation, she's going to be easier to handle?
It depends how we put it to her.
There is one thing that has to be established here. Who is running this prison? Are we or Smith? I'm sorry, I know how you hate to give up on people. So do I. But if you had known Smith as long as I have...
Yes, of course. I see.
Oh, by the way, has Mr. Fletcher spoken to you about Williams and Simpson? Lizzie Birdsworth's new evidence?
Oh, yes, he did. I'll get onto that as soon as I can.
Good.
I'd better be going now. I've organized a couple of shops to stock our handicraft work. God knows what I'm going to tell them now that it's all off.
Best of luck.
More toast, love?
No, thanks.
What time is it?
11 o'clock.
You know, if I was back in Wentworth, I would have folded 200 sheets by now. We finished that sherry, didn't we?
Yeah, and I got the bloody headache to prove it.
I thought we had.
Oh, that's Rhonda.
Oh, she'll be on to us for hanging around like this.
Oh, morning. My feet are killing me. 3 floors of that place I had to clean and the lift was out of order.
Cup of tea?
No, thanks. Do I think I'll lie down for a while?
See you later. Oh, she must be tired. She forgot.
Hey! Hey, aren't you two getting dressed?
In a minute.
Yeah, we were just clearing away. They'd be just finished their tea break at the warehouse now.
What are you worrying about that place for?
Who says I was worried?
Ah, it's him, isn't it? That Kev. Come on, love. You can't hold out on your old mate.
Yeah, but he said he was going to call round, Lizzie, and he hasn't.
Well, he only had last night, for God's sake.
Well, maybe he's decided not to get mixed up with the next crim after all.
Rubbish. He'll be around here today. And when he comes, you want to look at your best. And you put on all your best clobber, eh?
Oh, gee, Lizzie. I'd be hopeless without you.
Right. Now, do this one next. Up here.
Oh, I guess it's just a matter of getting used to it.
Yeah, oh, don't worry. For your first day, you're doing great.
Yeah.
My bloody old Muir never shows anyone anything.
Oh, hi, kid.
G'day, Cheryl.
Where's Debbie?
Muir fired her this morning for taking the day off.
The old bagger.
Oh, sorry. Reen, this is Shirley. Shirley, Reen.
Oh, hi, Reen. So what's Debbie doing then?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose she's looking for a job. She was pretty upset about it, though.
I bet she was. Gee, the way jobs are these days.
Well, look, I'm going round to see her in a minute. I'll say hello for you if you like.
You're going round to see her?
Yeah.
Listen, why don't we cheer her up? All chip in and take her out to lunch.
You reckon?
Yeah, why not? Oh, unless you had other plans.
Oh, no, nothing like that. All right, well, I'll meet you up at the Red Lion then. I'll pick her up.
1 o'clock?
Yeah, great. Hey, what about you, Reen? Do you want to come?
Well, I don't know this Debbie. And...
Oh, well, here's your chance to meet her.
Oh, you come too, love. Debbie, love it.
Oh, okay.
See you then, Kev.
Okay, see you, Sean.
See you, Reen.
Yeah, see ya.
Everything all right in here? Are you feeling better, Mrs. Williams?
Oh, she's just fine. Why shouldn't she be? No housework, meals served up, room service.
Simpson?
And the possible charge of murder hanging over her head. What more could she ask for?
That's enough.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fletcher, but could you please tell us what's happening? Is there any news about the halfway house? Well, surely we're entitled to know what's being done.
Well, the governor's decided that the best person to handle this is our social worker.
Social worker? Why in God's name a social worker?
Simply because your 3 witnesses are ex-prisoners. We have to reassure them, make them realise the best thing for them to do is to tell the truth.
Why wouldn't they tell the truth?
Carolyn, I think you understand the pressures we're under, Mr. Fletcher. Thank you for telling us.
Visitor for you, Gilmore, out in the garden.
Hello. Been waiting for you all morning. Oh, I had to organise time off work. Did you bring me any stuff?
No. Look at your trial today. Oh, come on, Sharon. Listen, I made a few inquiries about the judge. Your solicitor says that he's a sucker for a pretty face.
You think I should wear something low cut then?
No. Listen, just wear something respectable and be yourself. I mean, you know you don't have to try and look pretty. Listen, your lawyer said that the worst you could get would be a good behavior bond. You know what that means, don't you?
What?
Tonight you'll be back home again.
Gilmore, no physical contact. Anyway, your trial escort will be here in an hour, so keep it brief, eh?
Listen, I better go, love. I'll see you in court, huh? Good luck.
You the escort for Sharon Gilmore?
Can't say it's been a pleasure.
Wendy, I may not be back this afternoon.
You look as if you're going to a conference.
I wish I were.
Problems?
No, not really.
Oh, Paul.
What is it, Jim? I have to go to court.
Simpson and Williams. Have you spoken to the women at the halfway house yet?
No, not yet.
What, you got any idea when you might?
Look, I've got it in mind. I'll get onto it as soon as I can, but right now I have to go. I'm sorry.
Kevin. Geez, I thought...
How are you, Doreen?
Oh, really good. Come in.
Look, I don't know how you feel about this, but the girls down at the warehouse, they were upset when you got the bullet, you know, and they want to invite you out to lunch.
Oh. Oh. Well, that's really nice of them. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh. Well, that's what we'll do then. Gee, that's really nice of them. Do you think I should get changed?
No, you look terrific. Is that what you normally wear around the house?
Oh, no. I was just sort of hoping that you'd drop in.
What's taking you so long? Oh, who's this then?
Oh, Lizzie, this is Kevin. Kevin, this is Lizzie, my best friend.
Kevin. Dawes told me so much about you. Come inside.
No, we can't, Lizzie.
Why not?
Well, the girls at the warehouse are going to take me to lunch.
To lunch? Oh, well, you go along. Enjoy yourselves. I'll have lunch here by myself.
Well, why don't you come too, Lizzie?
Oh, I couldn't do that. It's Doreen's party.
No, it's not a party. It's just lunch.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, God, you go on, Lizzie.
All right, then.
But you just remember that my name's Debbie, OK?
Sure, Debbie. And you can tell him I'm your old auntie. And if I should forget and call you Doreen, you can say that's your middle name and I used to call you that when you was a kid. I'll just tell Rhonda what's going on.
She seems really nice.
Yes, she is. Gee, I'm glad you're here, Kevin.
sorry I'm a little bit late. Is everything ready?
Everyone else is inside.
How's it going?
Slight fly in the ointment, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
Change of court. Another case is carried over, so they've rescheduled us.
What does that mean?
Well, it means we get a different judge. This chap's more severe on drugs, I'm afraid.
But the evidence will be the same?
Yes, the evidence is the same.
How much more severe?
Well, he's been handing down a few stiff sentences lately, but I don't think we need panic. It is a first offence, and Tony's got excellent character references.
Well, hadn't we better get going inside?
Yes, I think perhaps we might.
Yes?
I'm Jim Fletcher from the Wentworth Detention Centre.
Yes?
Are Lizzie and Doreen at home?
I'm afraid they're not.
Oh. You don't have any idea where I might be able to find them, do you?
Why?
Well, I suppose you've read in the papers about Carolyn Simpson and Vivian Williams. Well, they're being held at Wentworth. And I think that the three of you might be able to help them.
How?
Well, I'd rather talk to the three of you.
Doreen and Lizzie are having lunch with some friends at the Red Lion. They should be just about finished by now.
Well, why don't we join them, eh?
I think you better bring them back here. Otherwise, Lizzie will keep on drinking till she keels over. We can talk when you get back.
All right, fair enough. Shouldn't be long.
So, you were not the person who brought the drugs?
No, sir.
Could you tell the court who was it that brought them?
It was Tony Reed.
And you'd spoken to Tony Reed earlier in the day?
Yes.
Could you tell the court what was said?
He contacted me and asked me if I'd carry the dope in case he got busted. I said I didn't want anything to do with dope. So he brought it himself.
And what happened when the police arrived at the house?
When we heard the police arrive, Tony kind of grabbed me. I thought maybe he was scared. But then I realized it was the money that he'd collected. He was stuffing it into my pocket. Then the police came in.
The funny thing about shearers is that they're all different. Take me. Now, you wouldn't think I was a woman of culture, now, would you? Well, I am. Poetry. I just used to love poetry. I remember once at a camp out west, I had an argument with these two blokes about which was the best poem. One of them said Shakespeare. Forget what the other one said, but I said to them, "You're all off your rockers," I said. Finally, we called in all hands and we had to recite. And I won, hands down.
Hey, tell us, Lizzie, what is the greatest poem ever written?
The Man from the Snowy River. Well, it bloody is, I tell you.
Hey, listen, Lizzie. How long ago was all this when you were a shearer's cook?
Oh, years and years ago.
What have you been doing since then?
Oh, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Good on you, Kev.
Isn't it about time all you got back to work?
2:30, I suppose so. But don't worry, Mrs. Montague, she's okay.
Yeah, but it's all right for all you girls in the office. But what about Reen? I wouldn't put it past Mr. Muir to just sack her on the spot.
Yeah, Debbie's right. I think we should finish these and then go.
Hey, Lizzie, Doreen.
Oh, Mr. Fletcher.
Could I have a word with you, please, Doreen?
You leave her alone, Fletch. We've done our time. We've finished with that prison.
Come on, have this.
What is it?
Black coffee.
I don't want it.
Oh, Lizzie.
I think I'd better be going.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, but...
Now you're here. Let's sort out why you came.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
All right, well, the situation is this. Simpson and Williams claim that the deceased was killed while he was assaulting them, that it was self-defense. They say that he assaulted Williams often, but that she refused to tell anyone. So, you see, your evidence becomes extremely important.
They were both very frightened that night.
Yeah, and she had a black eye.
Yeah, well, I don't want to discuss your evidence with you. That's a matter for the police. I just want you to understand that when the police come around and start asking questions, that there's nothing to be afraid of. Just tell the truth. Okay?
Okay, that seems clear enough.
Right. Well, I better be going then. No, I can see myself out. Thanks very much.
Only next time, keep your big trap shut.
Oh, he's not the only one.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dor. I didn't mean to spill the beans, but he took me by surprise.
It wasn't anybody's fault. It was a mistake. Honestly, Doreen, I think you're worrying too much.
Worrying too much? How's Kevin ever going to hold up his head at work now with everybody knowing I'm a crim?
If he really cares for you, it won't matter.
Yeah, well, that's easy enough for you to say, but you're not the one who's got to live with it.
Where the hell have you been?
Oh, out to lunch, Mr. Muir. Something happened and I couldn't get back.
What do you mean, something happened?
Well, some of the girls took Debbie out to lunch and something happened. Well, this man came in, see, and he said she'd been in prison. And, well, Debbie got real upset and I couldn't get back.
Debbie's been in prison? Who said that?
Dunno. They said he was somebody from Wentworth Jail.
Did they now? I knew all along there was something about that girl. I said it all along. But I'll tell you this just once, young lady. You come back here once more, just 2 minutes late, and you're out. Do you understand?
Yes, Mr. Muir.
Irene, how's everything? Oh.
So, your girlfriend's been in trouble with the law, eh?
Yeah, so?
What was she? On the streets, eh?
Listen, you little...
You do, Sonny. And you'll go out that door so fast. I'll be watching you. Those tendencies tend to rub off. And I'll be passing the word along.
One of these days I will thump that little bastard.
Oh, look, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. But, well, I had to tell him something.
No, don't worry about it, Reen. He loves sticking the needle in.
Well, he is right about one thing, though.
What's that?
People do judge you by the company you keep. Aren't you off duty?
I'm supposed to be.
Just can't keep away, huh?
No, it's spot of business. But I'll be gone so fast they won't even know I've been here. Well, I've got some good news. The women at the halfway house have corroborated your story, and they've agreed to testify.
We're very grateful for the trouble you've taken, Mr. Fletcher, aren't we, Carolyn?
All three of them are criminals. Do you think the court will give much weight to their evidence?
That's better than nothing, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is.
Oh, I didn't mean I'm not grateful.
Well, just as long as the right thing's being done, that's all I'm worried about. Well, you seem a lot better.
I suppose I'm coming to terms.
That's good. But you've got to start eating again. Proper meals and regularly, okay?
All right.
All right, then. I'll be going.
Mr. Fletcher, I didn't like to say anything in there, but Michael, Carolyn's husband, he might be able to help us. He knew what Brian was like.
I'll get word to the police.
What was that all about?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing?
Well, as a matter of fact, darling, I told him Michael might be able to testify that he knew what Brian was like.
You what?
He says he'll tell the police.
Are you out of your mind? You know Michael and I were always fighting about money. He'll tell that to the police.
Well, what if he does?
It confirms I was fretting about money. And why are the police saying we did it? For the insurance. It confirms our motive for the murder.
So you agree that you were one of those buying the drugs and are therefore guilty of possession?
That is correct.
What do you say to the claim that you actually sold the drugs?
Well, it's just not true.
You hadn't spoken to Sharon Gilmore earlier in the day?
Definitely not.
Could you tell us what happened when the police arrived?
Well, it all happened pretty quickly. We gave Sharon the money, and she put it in her pocket, and then suddenly there were police everywhere.
You deny stuffing the money into her pocket?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Tell me, why were you involved in this matter at all?
Well, I guess I wanted to be like the others. And, well, breaking the law, there's a bit of excitement. All I can say is I'm sorry, and it won't happen again. But as for me being the dealer, it's just not true.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I must point out that of the 6 defendants, only Miss Gilmore has staunchly maintained her innocence. This she has done from the beginning. She's been ruthlessly set up, elected, as they say, to carry the can. This young girl has become involved against her will in the most heinous social evil today, drug dealing. Members of the jury, you have seen my client. You have heard her attest her innocence. I commend her testimony to you.
Geez, I'm glad to see you, Kevin. Do you want to come in and sit down?
No, thanks, Doreen. Look, I've just got something to say.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. It's just that I think we're getting a bit too serious.
How do you mean?
Oh, we're getting too serious, that's all, you know. It's all happening too fast. Look, I don't think I'm ready to settle down.
It's all because of what happened at lunchtime, isn't it?
No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's just that, like I said, you know, it's happening too quickly. I think that maybe we shouldn't see each other for a while.
Sure, Kevin.
Look, maybe in a month or so.
I think you've said it, Kevin. Let's leave it at that.
You have all been found guilty of a crime which the law takes most seriously, the possession of marijuana. There are heavy penalties laid down. I have listened carefully to the evidence, and I congratulate the jury on their verdict. And I was impressed by the summations from our learned counsel representing Miss Gilmore. The most iniquitous aspect of drugs is indeed the way in which innocents are lured into a web. It's the duty of the courts to make young people realize this before it's too late. The law allows the judges some discretion in this matter. To some extent, I will exercise that discretion. Sally Blakely, I order you to be placed on a bond of $1,000 to be of good behavior for 12 months. Should you break this bond, you'll be returned to this court for further sentence. Should you honor the bond, this conviction will no longer be recorded. William Harris, you are sentenced similarly. Mary Oldfield, you are also so sentenced. George Coroneos, you are also so sentenced. Anthony Reed, you are similarly sentenced. Which brings us to Sharon Gilmore. The evidence you have given flies in the face of expert police testimony and the evidence of your co-defendants. I dismiss it, therefore, as a pack of lies. It seems clear to me that you were selling the drugs and you convened this gathering. Your attitude to these court proceedings, therefore, is cynical to the extreme. However, in view of your youth, I see some possibility of reform. The maximum sentence for your offense is 10 years imprisonment. I feel in this case that is too severe. I therefore sentence you to 2 years imprisonment.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down, but the sun